What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the show. So I posted a video a couple of days ago. It was a Social Security update, and I was talking about the increase, this new proposal that's coming out to increase Social Security. And so I had a lot of people asking me about SSI. What about the SSI update? What about the SSI increase? We heard about this in June. We haven't heard anything since then. So that's what we're going to talk about today. But first off, you guys can do me a favor. Please hit the like button. It does help with the YouTube algorithm. Also, please subscribe to the channel. Hit that little bell notification. That way you'll get notified anytime we put out a video. And like always, if you see my name and a picture of me in the comment section, make sure you also see a check mark next to my name. If you do not see that check mark, it's not me. It's someone trying to impersonate me. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at my illustration here. So Social Security. So we're talking about the Supplemental Security Income, SSI. Okay. Now we're going to talk a little bit about the proposal that was back in June. And then we're going to talk about the possibilities of seeing this in the near future. So that's the focus of this video. So SSI provides benefits for elderly, blind, and disabled Americans. Okay, so that's what SSI does. Now, in June, Senator Sherrod Brown reintroduced the Supplemental Security Income Restoration Act. Okay, so this was back in June that he introduced this proposal. Now, he has co-sponsors. Senator Elizabeth Warren, Senator Bernie Sanders, two very prominent senators in the Democratic Party. They are in support and they sponsor this bill or this proposal. And so that's good. If you have people like Senator Bernie Sanders, who is the chair of the Budget Committee, that goes a long way to gaining support for this. Now, 2021, the benefits were as follows: $794 per individual per month. That's the maximum. $1,191 for a married couple. And the couple, you both need to qualify for SSI in order to receive that $1,191. Now, the Restoration Act would bring the maximum benefits to 100% of the federal poverty level. Now, this is just like I talked about a couple of days ago when I was talking about Social Security. It's the same thing. They want to bring it to 100% of the federal poverty level. Now, this would mean an increase of about 31% for SSI recipients. This would also be indexed to inflation. So that's something worth mentioning there. Now, something else that we need to talk about: asset limitations. Currently, right now, if you're on SSI, you can have no more than $2,000 in assets. That's for an individual. For a married couple, you can have no more than $3,000 in assets. And this has not been changed since 1989. Now, the Restoration Act would increase that amount to $10,000 for individuals and $20,000 for married couples. So that would be a huge change. And I mean, $10,000 is a lot of money or a lot of assets, but it's reasonable at this point. $2,000 is not even reasonable. I mean, we are talking, and they did backpedal when it came to the stimulus checks, but people on SSI were receiving stimulus checks, and some people on SSI were saving those stimulus checks. They weren't spending it; they were saving it for an emergency. And if you got over that $2,000, you could see a reduction in your SSI benefits. And so they made a change on that, which is good. But in situations like this, if you're getting a stimulus check, you get even, let's look at December. December, there was a $600 stimulus check. And then in March of the next year, then there was another stimulus check that was $1,400. That's $2,000. So if you didn't spend that money, you would be in jeopardy of your benefits being reduced. And so, like I said, they made changes to that. So that's good. They just came out with that a couple of weeks ago, where they were talking about they're not going to be reducing if you have over $2,000, and it's basically from stimulus checks and from things like that. They're not going to reduce the amount. So it's time for them to go ahead and move forward and raise those limits up, because it's ridiculous that it's at $2,000 and $3,000 for a married couple. Okay, they also want to change the rule that states for every $2 over $65, they would lose $1 in SSI benefits. They haven't changed this, and guess what? Since 1972. So all these antiquated formulas that they were using way back in the day, they need to be. It should automatically be updated. I mean, this is one of those situations where we shouldn't be looking back and saying, wow, we haven't changed this since 1972. I mean, there should be something that automatically changes that formula. Okay, the Restoration Act would change the amount from $65 to $399 and would also allow $123 in benefits from other programs like pensions and other programs that you might be on. So that's a good thing as well. Now, there are currently 8 million SSI beneficiaries, including 1 million children. So that's what we have when it comes to this Restoration Act, this SSI increase. Now, the good news is that they're talking about this in June. The bad news is that we didn't see it in the blueprint, the $3.5 trillion new proposal, the human infrastructure, that second infrastructure bill. We didn't hear about this proposal. And so the hope is that it will be introduced at some point in the $3.5 trillion bill. And the reason why it's important to put it in the $3.5 trillion bill is currently you have Democrats that are supporting this proposal, but you do not have Republicans supporting this proposal. And we know in order to make something bipartisan, you're going to have some Republicans. And if we're talking about the Senate, and we usually focus on the Senate because that is usually the toughest hurdle. So if we're looking at the Senate, and if it's a bipartisan proposal, you're going to need at least, right now, you're going to need at least 10 Republican senators. And it's going to be hard if you don't have any Republicans right now that's supporting it. It's going to be something that's hard to get through. And then you're also going to need to get all 50 Democrats to support something. So the easiest way to go about this is putting this in the $3.5 trillion infrastructure bill, second infrastructure bill. That way, they're going to do that through reconciliation, and all they will need are all the Democrats in the Senate, all 50 Democrats to vote for this, and then have Kamala Harris, the vice president, break the tie. So that's what we're looking at when it comes to the SSI increase. Right now, we haven't heard anything, but hopefully in the near future, we're talking the next couple of weeks. So make sure you subscribe, hit that little bell notification. I'll let you guys know if they introduce this with the $3.5 trillion bill. But it needs to happen very soon because the plan is by late September, they want to have this bill approved in the Senate, sent over to the House, approved in the House, and have the president sign off on it. So they need to get the ball rolling. They need to introduce this into this $3.5 trillion bill. If you guys have any other questions, post them down below. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe for more. Check out some videos over here, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.